exclusion. Partial exclusion means a percentage of it should be paid by the enrollee. That's what they call total exclusion. For example, if there's work, the health insurance cannot manage the finances there will break down. Somebody who is into drugs and causes problem for himself as a result of drug intake is not covered under the scheme. If you're into dangerous activities, sports, extreme sports, it's not covered. But as the case may be, there could be special interventions, even for
under the scheme.
Even what is not covered under the benefit package. So there could be special intervention. Those are special things that require special approval. But one thing we are sure of,
even if you are a beneficiary of the scheme,
yes,
there are areas the scheme will not cover except on special.
Yes, that is why you have a list of benefit package. The list of the benefit package. So anything outside that, that's why I said there are partial exclusion, total exclusions, but there are some conditions you might need to come in. Let me give you an example.
So that people will not complain tomorrow.
Yes.
That after all, they are part of the package. So why are they being...
We've done sensitization in most NDAs, which includes BCA. I think we were here sometime this year or last year, where we explain all these things to everybody. Because it's good for us to understand so that you know your rights. We even explain rights of enrollees. The rights are so that you know your rights when you go to the hospital, when they treat you wrongly, when they don't give you what they're supposed to give you. So that we did that, we've done it in virtually all the NDAs. That's what we did. His Excellency last year, when we were supposed to start by January 1, felt that we hadn't done enough sensitization for people to know. So as a result, we had to start sensitization process, which will be done for 2 months, January, February, and we will still continue because people need to understand what we are doing and benefit from it maximally.
All right, esteemed listener, the program is Good Governance. You can reach us and participate in the program on YouTube at BCA Radio TV, at BCA Radio TV, at BCA Radio TV. You get us live on YouTube now. And you can as well call in via this number 0814-299-1448.
Church leaders across generations.
Henry, the program is on. So many programs have been on.
Wealth comes from
And now, the program may not stop. Yeah, this program is on. See something in the book. Right, I said before that short interruption that you can participate live, contribute, listen, watch at BCA Radio TV on your YouTube. And so, sir, still talking about the specific health services and benefits covered under the scheme. You mentioned something after the sensitization and civil servants.
Well,
so they will be aware what and what.
Yes, you will be aware, and everybody will know the benefit package. But just like I said, Abia has one of the best benefit package because I think I would say the national has the best benefit, which Abia has basically the same thing as the national. In as much as the premium, because the social health insurance program, the premium is small, but it's pooling of fund. That is why we can give you that kind of benefit package. When we gather the funds, we'll be able to take care of a lot of things. That's why people wonder. When we were doing our sensitization, we spoke with people and they were imagining with the little contribution they're going to make, how are they going to get all these services. But I took time and explained to them it's pulling of funds. If we are 100,000, for example, and contribute money, there's what they call utilization rate. We don't expect to get up to 20%. It will grow maybe from 5%, 20% utilization rate a month. So, which means the other contributions are going to be used to pay for those ones who just, for example, you contribute 2,000 naira a month. You need to go to hospital for the section. And if you go outside some places, 400,000, 300,000, you imagine how are you going to pay? So it's not the 2,000. It's pulling of fund. So when they pay, and that person will go the next time. It's more like what we call locally here ususu. This person will eat this time. That person will take another time.
Some may not even take at all. Now use them to take care of this one.
For example, me, I've been contributing for health insurance in 2005 as a federal civil servant when I was in NHIA. I've not been to the hospital. Most of my hospital is in Abuja. And for almost 20 years, I have not lived in Abuja. My family is just there, so I just go and come. So most times when I'm ill, I'm not even there. I just buy people are benefiting from my contribution. That's why it's a social health issue. The weak is supported by the strong. Those that don't go to hospital, those that go to hospital. The rich, because the contribution is a percentage, the rich contributes more than the less privileged financially. So that is how people is for somebody who helps somebody. And even naturally, in as much as that's what happens in the Western climes. But naturally, that is our culture. We help our brothers, our neighbors. So that is just what it is. And it's something you will benefit immediately if you have the need. It's not the one you contribute and they wait towards the end. They will pay you maybe National Housing Fund, that they will say, okay, you keep contributing. When you retire, maybe pension, you start looking for it. No. This is what you can enjoy and assess immediately you start contributing along the line as you work. So that is why it's very good. It's one of the things that increases, how would I put it now, most developed countries, if you check the countries that are very developed, have solid health insurance. Because paying out of pocket is very expensive. If you contribute 2,000 and you go to the hospital and you do a cesarean section for a woman, that is even if it's 200,000, I want you to imagine how long it will take him, her 2,000 to get to that amount. In a year, the person will be contributing 24,000. In 2 years, 48,000. In 3 years, maybe by the time the person feels contributing, the person has expired. And it will. So you see the benefit.
For just one ailment.
For just one ailment. And when I'm talking about 200, is the lower. There's no hospital that takes 200,000 for cesarean section. The ones we've been doing, the other programs we are doing for vulnerable people. We know how much we pay for cesarean sections for them. So that's why on the 2nd, APSHA, in conjunction with Ministry of Health, we are flagging up by His Excellency, and that will go at ICC. Everybody should be there. If you're a civil servant, I advise you to come. At least you hear from His Excellency. The time is 10 a.m. And the other programs there too. But at least we should be seated before the arrival of His Excellency so that we can hear from the man who is trying to make this possible in the state.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I would like you to take care of these 3 questions at a go. Who is eligible to participate in the formal sector social health insurance scheme? And what is the enrollment process? Then, how will APSHA ensure that all eligible civil servants are enrolled in the scheme? And then, is the scheme compulsory for all civil servants?
Okay, thank you. Eligibility is that you must be a civil servant. One. Then you must be a spouse of the civil servant. You must be a biological child of the civil servant. And it's supposed to be 4 children. So for you, the enrollment process has to do with the informations you bring. Because we are trying to avoid impersonation, people bringing people. So the civil servant, presently, we are going to go to all the NDAs.
So when are you starting that? After the
Yes.
2nd of April.
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Like 2 days ago, we trained all the registration officers. We had a 2-day training for the ICT software they're going to use. So immediately we flag off, we'll commence the registration. We'll go to
You have
all-
enough personnel?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll go to all MDAs. As we do the registration,
Mm.
of course, everybody will not be around. For example,
Yeah.
some people might be on leave,
Mm-hmm.
somebody might be somewhere, maybe study leave, and as the case may be, or not able to be around when they will do their MDA.
Yeah.
The person can come to the office, APSHA office,
Okay.
and register. But the difference is, it will be easier for you to be registered now because we are using a nominal role submitted by some MDAs.
Okay.
We'll go there, we'll use it, we'll do the registration so we can identify you as a civil servant
Okay.
with all the details required. But if you have to come to our office,
You still need the means of identification.
now you need means of identification, which means you need to identify yourself as a civil servant, maybe an ID card or letter from the office.
Mm.
It makes it a little bit cumbersome, but we must identify who you are. Then for the children, it's necessary for us to know that you are children. We need to
So
bring
how
their
will you
birth
know?
certificate. We need to bring their birth certificate.
Mm.
Yes. Because the truth is, we know how we operate. Some people want to make sure, even if they don't have 4 children, they want
And
to
bring their relatives
they will go
and
to the
children.
village and gather all the people to make sure they have 4. Some people might go and bring their sisters. But I'm going to tell you that it will not benefit you at the end. For example, if you don't bring maybe a marriage certificate for your wife,
Mm.
you go and bring your sister, maybe you are not married, you say, let me add my sister as my spouse since I don't
Okay.
have a wife. When you want to change, you will get married tomorrow and you will
Okay.
need to put your wife. Then you need to submit a divorce certificate. And or if you say she's late, you bring death certificate.
For somebody that is alive.
That is the issue. This is to avoid people doing things that are not right.
It must be your one wife now. What are people with 2, 3 wives?
There's what we're going to roll out immediately after we start. I'm going to explain that. There's what they call extra dependent. Some people have 5 children.
Some people also have 2, 3 wives.
That's what I'm saying. Some people have. That's what I'm trying to explain. Just
Okay.
Some people have more than 4 children. Some people have more than 1 wife. You understand? Which means you need to look for how you register them. So that extra dependent means now you are going to pay.
Okay.
You pay for them.
But
Because
that one, you don't need marriage certificate again now for the
No.
number of wives.
No,
It's
you
only
don't.
the first one now.
Yes.
Okay.
So because you can't have 5 children and you remove 1, that one will think that you hate him or her. You understand?
Okay.
So there is opportunity for you to register that one, but now you pay for it.
Okay.
Yes. So if you have 3 wives,
Mm.
you pay for 2 if you must. If you want to register them, that's how it works. Because the law and the operational guidelines says 4 children. That's what is done even at the national, even in other states. That's what it is. So that's so you still have opportunity to register them, but this time you have to pay. But most people pay. You know why? Because when they enjoy the benefit, they realize it's better to pay than to pay out of pocket.
Okay, yeah.
Because the person will enjoy exactly the same thing. The same benefit the person is entitled to the same benefit.
And the payment is a flat rate or it's negotiable?
No, it's not negotiable. Presently, or before now,
I think we'll have a call. Hello? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
good morning, sir.
Yeah, your name, sir. Your name, sir. Your name, sir, please. Okay, Mr. Amadi, you're welcome. From where? Okay, go ahead, sir. Thank you, Mr. Amadi.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Amadi, for those questions there. There are different programs. For example, for the disabled, there's a program we've been running since, and we've been taking care of. We call them for vulnerable group, those that are vulnerable. That even includes pregnant women, children under 5, the disabled, the downtrodden in our communities. That one is free, 100% free for them. And in that program, we've done a lot. We've done over 100 surgeries. That's cesarean section. Then for pensioners, His Excellency addressing the pensioners some months ago, they asked this same question. He said that he was going to start the pensioners on, but let him start the formal sector first. You know the issue, you need to work before you start running. So, and because the civil servants is a higher pool, we need that basic pool so that other things can come up. There are programs for people that are not civil servants too. We call it the informal sector health insurance. For keke riders, those that are not in any formal employment that pay salary. So we have all these programs, even for pensioners, that you, in a short while, will roll out after we have sorted out the modalities and meetings with the pensioners to address their issue. So the rest assured, His Excellency has already said that. So we will be on it in a short while.
All right, sir. Mr. Amadi, I guess you are now convinced. So going further, that means the scheme is compulsory for all civil servants.
The scheme is compulsory for all civil servants. There's a law.
Okay.
As at 2017, that was when that law, Abia State Health Insurance Law, and it makes it compulsory. There is a national law, federal, it makes it compulsory. Actually, it's not only even for civil servants. It makes it compulsory for indigenous of the state. It makes it compulsory for indigenous of the state.
Residing in the state?
Residing in the state.
Okay.
In the national law, it makes it compulsory for all Nigerians.
Wow.
But you know, when you are rolling out a program, you need to start, just like I said, we need to work before. That is why we have programs for those that cannot pay.
Okay.
That's the vulnerable people, which we already doing. The federal government, the Abia State, His Excellency has paid a counterpart fund. Added to that we are using to take care of vulnerable people, those that can't pay. So when those that can pay will pay, there's assistance.
To take care of
those that cannot pay. That gives you an example that they want everybody covered, and that is a sign that is compulsory for everybody.
All right. Thank you so much. So, how would the formal sector social health insurance scheme be funded? What is the premium contribution structure for civil servants and the state government?
Okay. And you know, we've spoken this, we talked about this before, but just like I said, the standard is the employer pays 10% of the basic salary of the employee. The employee pays 5% of the basic salary. Basic salary, not total
package, no.
Not total package. Now, His Excellency said that he was going to pay 2.5 for the civil servants.
The employee.
Yes, to reduce financial pressure on them.
That's for a certain period of time.
Yes, because if you notice, Abia is recovering.
The
past almost 2 years now, Abia is in the process of recovering, just like the civil servants. So he understands those issues, and he does not want more pressure on us. But that
the civil servant with 2.5% for a period of time. Okay.
Yeah. Because the issue is that it's good for us to know what the standard is, so that you know. Okay, let me give you a narrative. If you are an average civil servant, middle management level 10, level 12, may have a basic salary of about, I don't know what is up to 40,000 basic salary. So what it means is every month, assuming you are paying your full 5%,
Mm.
5% of 40,000 is 2,000.
Mhm.
And that 2,000 you're paying every month covers you,
Mm.
your spouse, and 4 biological children. So even if you pay the 5%, what it means now is that while His Excellency is supporting the civil servant, that civil servant will pay 1%.
Mhm.
That's 2.5% of 40,000.
That's 1,000.
That's 1,000. And that's 12,000 per annum. When you treat malaria,
Mm.
one person, I know that the money you contributed cannot take care of malaria treatment.
For once.
Imagine when your children, like, rainy season is coming, you start
Yeah.
having this upper respiratory tract infection, they'll be trooping into the hospitals. If you don't have money, this is 20 something. We civil servants, I'm a civil servant.
Yeah.
We civil servants, by this time, our money has
Mm.
gone down. If I have a bill of 10,000 naira, I might need to go and borrow. But if you have health insurance, you walk into the hospital.
With your card.
With your card. Yes, you walk into the hospital, you choose your hospital, you go there, get your treatment. If they can't do it at primary level, you go to a secondary level. For example, if you go to the hospital, they say, no, the pain down there is not what we can do. I think it requires surgery. We refer you to a secondary provider like Specialist Hospital. And they say, okay, it's appendix, let us go and remove it. They remove it, we pay. If it's not what they can do, it's okay, go to teaching hospital. That's a tertiary level treatment. And we are talking about 2,000 naira, 5% of basic. It sounds like magic, but it's real. At least I've benefited since 2005 for my family, my wife and my children, because I'm not there. But my contribution is there. But they've not gone for a very long time. But they are grown now. So it's something that will benefit. And all of us, we are stakeholders in this matter.
Yeah.
As things go on, complaints will come. We expect people to bring in their reports, especially from the providers. Things might happen, you might not be treated well. That is why you even have the right to change your facility.
Okay.
If you choose a hospital now,
that means it's not just being a part of the scheme. You don't just walk into any hospital. You have your particular facility. Okay.
Let me explain it now. You choose a facility. We have a list of facilities that are registered with us. Okay. We went and inspected.
So at the point of registration,
at
the point of enrollment, you see the list, you choose one that will suit you and where you are.
Yes, okay. And especially the one that is close by, you cannot be in Omai.
I'm choosing Aba.
So that when you have small fever, the transport to go to Aba would have helped you to pay your bill in the hospital here or in the pharmacy. So you choose that hospital. That hospital will be paid every month on your behalf, what is called capitation. That capitation,
from that little contribution.
Yes, we pay capitation every month. And that capitation covers just minor illnesses like malaria. That's what that's why we classify them into primary and secondary. And the person who will treat you will be a general practitioner or a family physician. But immediately something that requires a specialist. For a woman now, maybe the pregnancy, they notice is multiple pregnancy with 1 or 2 reasons, you refer the person to a gynecologist. Okay. This program supports what we call specialization. A general practitioner like me who has gone into health finance cannot cut you. In as much as before we could do those surgeries, but I don't have the license to cut you. Okay. So if you don't have the license as a gynecologist, you're not going to do a cesarean section for us. The woman must go to a specialist, and need to be paid for. So at that point now, you can go to any hospital. The initial entry, your gateway to healthcare service is from your primary provider, that one you choose.
Yeah.
So when you go there, if it's what they cannot do, specialist, FMC, and any other general hospital where you have qualified people that can operate on you, we'll refer you to that place. You get there. If they get there, maybe they require special equipment they don't have, we can send you further to the tertiary level. That's a teaching hospital. That's the procedure to access care.
All right, thank you so much, sir. You can still call us and join in the program. We call the number 0814-299-1448. We're talking about Abia Social Health Insurance Scheme. I think I'm right.
Social health insurance program, yes.
Program.
Yes.
Okay. So, and the executive secretary of that agency, that's the chief executive of that particular agency, is here, Dr. Chidoziem Egwuonwu. And so now, Doc, which healthcare providers and facilities will be participating in the formal sector social health insurance scheme?
Well, we have a robust list too. Presently, I think we have up to almost 100 facilities. That includes both private and government.
Okay, scattered all over the state.
Yes, all over the state, because there are civil servants in Aba that we don't have here. So we have hospitals, both private and government.
And these hospitals, like the private ones, are up to standard.
That is why we go to inspect the place.
Okay. You have up to 100 that will serve the number of enrollees.
Yes, and they are still coming. It's short as I speak. Most private hospitals haven't realized that we're about to start the formal sector. They are rushing to come and register.
And also upgrading their facility.
Because when we come and the place is not up to standard, we will tell you no. But we might give you time, go and do this, do that, you can call us back. Because you cannot be doing surgery when you don't have an equipped theater.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. So how will APSHA ensure that participating healthcare providers deliver high quality services to enrolled beneficiaries? So that means you could just be on your toes.
Yes. There was a statement I made. I said that even though we are all stakeholders in this, what do I mean? If you go to the hospital and you are treated wrongly, you report, because we will not be there to know. Then if you report, we take action. We have what we call, there's a department in the agency called SQA, Standard and Quality Assurance. What they do is to make sure that the standards are kept. There are things you will do. That's what they call treatment protocol. If you go against it, of course, we can remove you. We can fine you. There's what we call operational guideline that puts fines and punishment or penalties, rather. Penalties for each offense that you commit. And we've gotten a lawyer from Ministry of Justice. We're going to draft the agreement which binds you to abide by this. But you know, why there's offense and there's because people must always commit that offense. Then we have what we call we have a department called MIE, Monitoring and Evaluation Department. They will still monitor why SQA try to maintain the standards. So we need to get information on what is happening. But the main person who will tell us that things are going wrong are the civil servants, the enrollees. When you go to hospital, they don't treat you well, there must be a feedback. Then we'll go there. We'll find out what happened. We'll find out who is at fault. If we need to correct them, I do it ignorantly, under omission or commission. So we need to straighten some of these things. It will be a treating process. There's going to be conflict, but we are going to handle it.
Okay. Thank you so much. So finally, we just have a few minutes to leave here. What are the biggest challenges facing the implementation of the formal sector social health insurance scheme, and how will APSHA address them?
The biggest challenge is this last question you asked. Hospitals. Treating our enrollees well. Because there are conditions, there are ones that are within your powers. There are ones that are outside your control, right? That's what control, one outside their control. The action of the hospitals is outside our control. But when we monitor them and tell them what to do, I think they will fall in line. I'm saying this thing because of my experience. I've been in the field. I worked in NHI, National Insurance, for over 20 years. I already know the challenges that we face. That is the biggest challenge, the human factor in treating our people. And we all know, because drugs are quite expensive now. So there might be one or two sharp practices
Mm-hmm.
in that process for those who don't understand what to do. For example, what we use is generic drugs. At times, most of these providers, which is wrong, they start taxing the patients, frightening them.
Yeah.
Somebody will come and tell you, you know Panadol and paracetamol, they're the same thing. Somebody comes and tells you, if it is not Panadol, they said I should give you paracetamol. It won't work. Let me give you Panadol. The doctor says,
And you think it's something.
yes, you become frightened. You say paracetamol is 100, but Panadol is 200. So if you want, give me 100 naira or maybe 200, let me give you Panadol. Those are some
And
of
they're doing the same job.
Yes, those are some of the sharp practices that we noticed in the process of this program. That's outside Abia. I know it will still happen, but we still handle it.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, we'll be speaking with the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Abia State Health Insurance Agency, APSHA, Dr. Chidoziem Egwonwa. Esteemed listener, I think we'll call it a day here. Our time is fast spent. Next Friday, God willing, we'll come back visiting another ministry or agency. And I know Dr. Chidoziem Egwonwa will come here after the takeoff on the 2nd of April. We'd still like to have him here maybe in the next 2 weeks or thereabouts to give us a feedback of how the exercise started and what they are doing.
I'll be glad to be
here. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, esteemed listener, and everyone in the studio. You have something more, okay?
Yeah, please, I invite everybody.
All right.
ICC, 10 o'clock, 2nd of April.
Okay, 2nd is on Wednesday next week, 10 o'clock at
10
International Conference Center, ICC. Thank you so much, sir, and have a wonderful weekend. It's been Ijoma Makamaya host. See you next week, Friday, God willing. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Hey.